Hello and welcome to All For United with me, John Foster, MUFC. Here with the usual crowd today. Lots to talk about. Battery Action Show. Man United have just lost 2-0 to Reading. Quite a surprise, really. Roller coaster of emotions there with Chelsea also losing. We have got some good news with Kirsty Hanson and Leah Galton, so we'll speak about those contracts and a player being nominated for Player of the Month. So we have got a bit of good news to share as well there. Later on in the show, we'll get Anthony joining us. Really looking forward to having Anthony on the show. He's making his debut, talking about the Man City game, and that Man City game he just got 10 times more massive. And of course, we've got the competition halfway through as well. So lots to keep you tuned into, lots going on. Something just Natalie just made me aware of something that's happened on Instagram today. I'm not on Instagram, so it's the first time I've heard of it. Natalie, if you wouldn't mind just kind of sharing what you've seen and obviously your thoughts on that.
Yeah, John. Obviously, I've got it on because when I saw it, I had to just come and rep it. And you know what's happening today, just with all our players, not just all players across all levels of football. It needs to stop it. LJ today, she posted it on her Instagram. She's the latest player to get racist abuse. Just I don't know what it is. Mindless people just comment in things, and it's just stupid, to be honest. So I'm wearing this shirt in support of her. We all support her. She's one of our best players.
Nat, your audio is a bit crackly, so I'm just going to move on to Matt. If you can just maybe log out. Yeah, Nat, if you can just kind of log out and come back in again. Oh, there we go. He's already gone. Matt, if you wouldn't mind just kind of picking up on that, and then Natalie will come back shortly.
Yeah, sure. So it was pretty much like Nat said, sort of this afternoon, about 5 minutes or so before we kicked off, just on Instagram as normal. And sadly, seeing more racial abuse directed this time at one of the women's players. And I think, Nat's touched on it there. I think it's massively disappointing in 2021 to see this is still going on. I don't know. It just for me, I'm still shocked it happens. Really, I really am. I think how somebody can log on and just go at an individual, is pathetic. I mean, and then to throw racism into the mix is just absolutely disgusting. I think there needs to be more. There's been a lot of talk, hasn't there, from sort of the incidents in the men's game about how people go about it and sort of how to police it. And being honest, I don't know how they can really do it that sort of sorts it. I don't know the way forward, but all we do know is obviously it's up to us as fans and everybody really just call it out, and to kind of comment that it's unacceptable. And I know Lauren's sort of had fellow teammates sort of call it out, rightly so, and sort of other WSL players. And I think I don't know, it's becoming ridiculous. It really is. There's been racism, there's been hate on players, some of our own, some from other clubs, and I think it needs to stop. It really does. It's going way too far. And like I say, how that happens, I don't personally know, but there does need to be something quickly, action taken. I think it's all well and good, kick it out, coming out and saying, we don't approve of it. That's great. Nobody wants to see it, but what you're actually going to do about it. And I think for me, we've got a long way to go, sadly, in football before it's actually properly dealt with, and sort of people come down on it hard and not just so to speak, letting them off lightly with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for myself that there would be a way to police it on social media, but I think the government need to come down harder first to make sure Twitter or Facebook, Instagram, whoever runs the companies, actually does something. So I'm sure there's a way to hand over some sort of details when you sign up to an account, whether it be passport ID, driving license ID, someone that could identify that account. And then if you do say something, then obviously you'll get banned. And for the people who have already signed up, as soon as they do say something, they need to be kicked out. So when they start a new account, then they have to give some sort of ID over. It's as simple as that. You have to give ID over if you like sign up to Ladbrokes or any other gambling account. So there are ways, obviously, there. I just think that when you sign up to a social media account now, you need to be able to be identified. I'm going to bring Natalie back in. So Matt just kind of said his points. Nat, you just carry on, sorry, where you left off.
Yeah, just I don't know what you heard and what you didn't. Sorry, it's just my computer is absolutely rubbish. But no, just saying we're all supporting her, and the social media, like you said, that needs to do more. But whoever, I don't even know, because for me it just looks like a bot or whatever, and that's what all these things do. When they were attacking Axel, when they're attacking Rashford and Martial, now Lauren, it's just little bot accounts, and we all see them about on social media. It's not like, I'm not saying it's not a real person, but it's like there's no thoughts, there's no feelings. They're just making an account just to racially abuse someone. It's out of order, needs to stop. But like you say, the social media platforms need to do more, and it sounds like they're trying to do more. The government are going to force them to do more because of what's happened. I know people might not really, but Black Lives Matter, and you need to show some support for these girls, boys that are going out, because if you're a young black kid and you want to play football and you see that, it's going to put you off. So why shouldn't everyone have the same opportunities? And it makes me mad. We're not here to talk about that, but that's what makes me mad. If I'm mad about anything, it's that the fact that she has gone through it, any player goes through it, it's just disgusting.
We're going to do a separate show dedicated to the kind of topic that we just spoke about. That's coming up down the line, but we just want to make sure that, because it is such a sensitive topic, we want to make sure that we do it right. But there's definitely something in the pipeline for this show where we can address this a bit more. Thank you to everybody in the comments. We can see a few Chelsea fans in there as well. Sorry about your loss as well, mate. Look, we want to start off on a bit of a good note with Kirsty Hanson and Leah Galton. So both signed long-term contracts this week. Fantastic to see. Me and Nat had a bit of a say on Kirsty Hanson on our previous show, but Ben, what are your thoughts on those two contracts?
Absolutely buzzing about them, Paolo, to be fair. Tying them down to long-term deals, that's what I like to see. You know what I mean? Leah Galton, come on, how many times have I said it now? I think she's the best player in the league. So to tie down the best player in the league to a long-term contract just makes her stronger. And the same with Kirsty Hanson, to tie her down to a long-term deal makes just, so long as we can get our squad players and our important players and everybody that we need signed up before as contracts running out, signed up before the end of the season. I'm buzzing that we go into the summer and then hit the transfer market and hopefully get our deals done early. But I'm absolutely buzzing about the news.
Matt, I mean, I know that you're obviously a big fan of the players who started with us from 2018 onwards, and maybe some of them before that as well. But it's just great to see Casey invest in her, I wouldn't say hope, because it's more than hope, but it's great to see that she's recognised the likes of Kirsty, who was progressed from 2018, and she's rewarding her with not just a 1-year rolling contract or anything like that. It's a massive 3-year contract, isn't it? So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you covered it well there. I think, we had that, as we refer to them as the original 21 from 2018. I think that there's a massive amount of love for that squad. Even the ones that have sort of left now, there's still a huge, interest from sort of our fans. But yeah, listen, we know what we're getting from both players. Obviously, Kirsty is a little bit younger than Leah. So obviously, I think there's a lot to there's a lot to come from both players still, but there's a lot that, can be worked with for Kirsty. And yeah, very, very pleasing to see both tied down. I think, like I said, big 3-year deal with the option of 1. Not always been common in the women's game, I mean, some people might say 3 years isn't a long contract, but in the women's game and sort of speaking in their terms, it is. I think we see a lot of 1-year deals, 2-year deals. But yeah, it's good that kind of 2 key players for us are tied down like we touched on, for long contracts, and they're being rewarded for, hard work and sort of good form, really. I think, like I said, Leah, we rave about Leah every week, and obviously Kirsty too, but like I say, especially with Hanson being so young, that, it really is good that we can see how well she's going to progress from sort of season 1 straight the way through. And it's good. We've managed to, like I say, maintain a few of those original 21. We may lose some in the future, but listen, if we still end up with 2 or 3, fantastic. They've been on the journey since the start. And I think as well, it's special for Kirsty having come through the academy. This is a homegrown player. She's one of our own. She kind of came through the academy, left, came back. She's a United fan through and through. Whole family are, I believe. So, yeah, exciting times, and fingers crossed, going forward now, we can really start to sort of, enjoy those players even more than we already do now.
Yeah, definitely. Karen Sims in the comments, that is correct. We got to move on. We got to move on to the actual match itself. So, Nat, you just kind of give your kind of summary on today's game, and then obviously I'll give mine as well, and we'll just go around and just kind of go into a bit of a summary before we go into like a bit more detail, I guess.
Yeah, 2-0 loss to Reading. It's not good enough. I think Casey said it really well after the game. She just said we had a lot of chances, and I think first half definitely we had a lot of chances. To be fair, the first half is sort of a bit like you could compare it to the Everton first half. Tooney hit the post. I think Press had a few chances, but overall we knew that that Reading was going to be a tough game, and if you have to sort of be at their level. You know what they're going to be like. You know that they're going to be physical. I mean, there's 2 free tackles from Emma Mitchell where she was literally picking up our players and slam dunking them. But I knew that was going to happen, and I knew there would be no comeback. And I think we let it get to us. Katie even said after the game, we got sucked into their tactics, so the way they wanted to play. Instead of us keep on playing our game, we, try to fight them kind of thing, I think. And I think when you try and do that, you're going to lose against them. I think you need to play football against them. You need to be attacking. You need to move the ball quick. We didn't see that. And then it was just set pieces that outdone us. And, they went out there celebrating hard. Why not? They need to move up the table. It's a big result for them. Boy, it's a massive loss for us. I'm seeing people say it's the worst one I've ever seen. No, I've seen worse, and I've seen us bounce back. But, from where we were at this season, the mentality we have to fight back, we've seen a lot of fight backs, and I just saw us not capitulate, but I just saw us just sort of lose it, They went 1-0 up, and quickly after they went 2, and I just thought, well, that's it then. And, it wasn't good to see. You hope that now. I mean, you don't need to be G'd up for City, but you hope that now she's sending hundreds of rockets up them, hundreds and hundreds, because not good enough. And like she says, if you want to win titles, you don't win them like that, because, Chelsea's lost and we could have won and we could have been ahead of them. I said that Chelsea will not go unbeaten. They will drop points, and lo and behold, it's when we've done it as well. And that'll probably be it. That might be it from then. You have to be there, ready to win all the time. And, but it's 2 years old team. It's onwards. It's lots of things to go, lots of things to get better on. And, we need to change this quick.
I don't know if it was just like a bit of a weak mentality there, what you're kind of hinting about. When we got 1-0 down, we conceded another one as well, which is unusual. And it is unusual this season. I mean, we've always done well against the weaker teams. We've still grinded out the results. Even if we haven't played at our best, we've still got that win. Obviously, the only loss that we've had this season in the WSL is against the champions. So this season, it really looked like that we've turned the corner. I appreciate that we probably won't go on and win every game that we should win. But when you compare that game to the other games that we've played in, there was some sort of big difference there. Mentally wise anyway. You could talk about fine margins. Obviously, Tooney hit the post, which was a great counter-attack there. Kirsty Hansen got into some good spaces, managed to find out Tooney there, who could have easily gone in. Galton's volley or half volley for about 5-10 yards out would have usually hit the back of the net, but it was a good save by the keeper. So in that case, it's fine margins. But did we deserve to win the game? Probably not. If maybe a draw if ours went in. But again, bit of bad defending at the back. I I wouldn't go blaming the goalkeeper on those. I think Mary actually kept us in it a couple of times with a couple of good saves. For me, just switching off at the back, as you mentioned, Natalie, Katie's interview after the game, she spoke about she knew what to expect from Reading, being physical and set pieces, but still conceded. So yeah, very, very let down today. I think for myself, I am kind of happier that Chelsea lost, because it does kind of show that it's not just us. There are games out there that you can slip up on. Obviously, if Chelsea can slip up, we can slip up as well. But that game next week, which we'll speak about later with Anthony, is to me absolutely massive now. Ben, how would you describe that game?
Disappointed, mate. Disappointed. I just said on Twitter, I just think they wanted it more. They showed they wanted it more, mate. They were throwing bodies on the line, blocking every ball, getting tackles in, being dirty, being aggressive. And I think sometimes we need to wise up to that type of football. Like, we need to try and learn to win ugly instead of trying to win pretty all the time. We need to, just learn how to win ugly, to grind out results when it really, really matters, or grind out at least pouring a point back if we can't get the full 3 points. I just think, I wouldn't say desire was lacking today, but I just think they wanted it more, and they showed like they were just. I mean, like Natalie said, I think they were slam dunking a few of our players around, but we need to start doing that a little bit. You know what I mean? But knowing us, if we started doing that, the referees will start coming down on us because we're Man United. That's the problem. That's the only issue I think with that. But I don't know. Their first goal was a typical stuffy, Reading goal. Really, we always seem to concede from them type of goals to Reading. Really stuffy goal, that one. Scruffy, really. It was just nothing special. But for some reason, my mind casts back to the Reading game in the cup. I think we also conceded a goal a little bit like that. We made a mess of clearing the lines from a corner. It just seems to be their way of scoring against us, and we seem to have a bit of a kryptonite type thing. Their second goal, another set piece, mate. We were sleeping then. We were napping. Who was picking up? Is it Danielle Carr? Is that her name? Sorry, I can't remember her name. Yeah, who was picking her up? She was free. Who was marking her?
Let her run. Just let her run.
Jess, that's it. Jess, sorry,
let her run. And I just think, come on, man.
I just feel a little bit disappointed. All right, it softened the blow that Chelsea lost, man. But like Nat said, we could have been top of the pops again, man. Clear away from them, And we've taken our chance. But that's the only problem when you're kicking off the early game, when you're the earlier game kicking off. You have to start on the front foot. And today we had our opportunities again. Don't get me wrong. It's just, again, that same old thing, ruthlessness in front of goal. It's the late goal one I thought was in, mate. I was jumping up and down. But fair play to the keeper for getting a foot onto it. But I don't know, mate. I'm just disappointed. At the end of the day, I said on Twitter, I saw Casey's face at the end then. I hope she's been throwing teacups around that dressing room, because it's what's needed. Just to bring them back down to earth a little bit, We've been we've been on a jeer full, We've had some great results. We're unlucky to lose against Chelsea, really, in a way. We've done so well this season. We've exceeded expectations, mate, But I think this will bring us back down to earth, and I think Casey will get the drilled into them now that we go again, Not acceptable. We go again. Draw a line under it. It's done. We have to go and beat City now. We have to. We can't. A draw is not acceptable for me. We have to win that game.
We spoke about the physicality there, and Sky FL in the comments mentioned about they were more aggressive. I think one player that was aggressive for us from the get-go was Maria. So she gave her debut today. Matt, what were your thoughts on Maria's performance, and also the choice of the starting 11? Obviously, Kirsty coming in instead of Jackie, which meant Tooney could go in the centre. What were your thoughts on those two subjects?
I think Maria, obviously, me and you did a mini sort of halftime show, didn't we? We were live on Twitter and sort of discussed, her impact in the first half. And I think, I'd probably stick with that for a second. What we talked about was we liked that she was, she was physical, and we knew that. She held a position well, she went forward when necessary, but a lot of the time she held back. And, that's for me, that's not a bad thing. I think that's great. She just provides that physicality that we lack. I think in terms of, you know, the lineup, the starting 11 for me wasn't that bad. I think the issue for me came at half time. And like I said to you, sort of, you know, at half time that we needed to make changes. Now, I'm all for making changes and changing things. That's fine. But I feel we got the substitutions wrong. I really do. I think, and I said to you, didn't at half time, if I could pick 3 players that were our best players, I'd have said Ona, Hansen and Hayley Ladd. And then we changed 2 of them. We took off Hansen and we took off Hayley. And I think, you know, we lost what Kirsty was bringing to us in terms of a pressing and a work rate sort of going forward. We completely capitulated sort of with screening the back 4. You know, I think we talk about it, or I do a lot, about what Hayley brings to the team. And, you know, we could go into detail and be here all night. But I think for me, we lost second half, that sort of that organisation, that stability, that little bit of bite. And I think, you know, for me, it was great, you know, like I say, that we tried to change it. But like I say, you know, it wouldn't have been those players coming off for me. I'd have stuck with them and at least given them a little bit longer. I think, you know, what you see from those 2 is what you get. And, you know, we've said it, or I've said it time and time again, you know, Katie's not a defensive midfielder, Jackie's not a defensive midfielder, and Tooney's not a defensive midfielder. So if we want to play and protect the back 4 like we always have done, absolutely fine. But for me now, we can't be taking, I mean, it shows, doesn't it? We struggle without Hayley and we struggle without Jackie. And unfortunately, we've got a couple of injuries thrown in there that wobbles us and sort of throws us off a bit. And those players have shown today that those that come in that maybe, you know, not proving the point that they may have wanted to, you know, they've not come in and taken that chance. And I think the biggest disappointment for me was, okay, first half was average. The second half was poor. It really was. And, you know, I think you go a goal down, you think, okay, let's see a reaction. And we don't. And we see a second goal down, you think, okay, 2 goals down, half an hour left, 25 minutes, maybe we'll see a reaction. And we didn't. And I don't know. Frustrating was my final word. And I tweeted afterwards, you know, we could be here all night analysing and going through the ins and outs. But yeah, I think, you know, you've all touched on, we need to sort of react from this and look ahead to Friday now. Friday becomes absolutely massive. They've got a game in hand on us. I think Arsenal have got 1, possibly 2 as well. And, you know, we're fighting for Europe. We need to regroup. We need to react from this. We need to learn from it more. I think for me, you know, we need to show that we understand where we've gone wrong. Certain standards weren't acceptable. And, you know, I look at some of the comments about sort of passing and pass percentage. I actually had a look not long ago on the Opta stats and things that are out there. And there's certain players that have got sort of 30% passing success rate. And you're thinking, is that good enough in the WSL? Probably not. I mean, listen, people have off games and, you know, we're not here to hang players out to dry. But I just think, you know, 30-40% of your passes out of your attempted passes for me is not great. And yeah, we've all sort of shared how frustrated and disappointed we were collectively. I think, you know, it's wrong to sort of out individuals and say, you know, such a body should have done this and such a body. But, you know, for me, I look at it collectively. And like I say, I think subs wrong. You know, not in terms of the players that came on, but just in terms of the players we took off for me, I think. But yeah, lessons learned, you know. And we look to go again, I suppose, on Friday, really.
I think the substitutions is pretty much common across social media. That's what everyone's saying. I would love to know Casey's thoughts behind it, because obviously it's not something that she would have took lightly. Obviously, we'll never know that. She'll keep her tactics to herself. If it had come off, it would look brilliant, because it would look like, oh, she's going really attacking. She's going for the win, taking off a CDM, playing Katie and Jackie and Tooney all there. If it had come off, it would look like a masterstroke. In theory, Jess is more proven goal scorer than Kirsty Hansen, and maybe she saw something there. But yeah, the fact that a lot of us were surprised at what happened obviously just makes you think, okay, maybe it was the wrong decision. But Nat, just your final thoughts on that game, and where do we go from here now with the City game?
Yeah, I agree with what Matt's saying. I mean, you know, when Jackie, without Jackie, you know, I thought Jackie's been okay. You know, I thought, you know, like you said, the start team, I thought it was good that Zelen was starting. But like you say, bringing off a defensive midfielder when you know how Reading play, it's not the one, really. And, you know, I think it shows we need that depth now in midfield. I mean, I know we've got Staniforth, we're waiting. You know, she's injured. You know, you can say injuries as well. But, you know, you can't play Jackie and Ladd every game. And even though we want them to, they can't play all the Conti games or the FA Cup games or the thing. And then we're going to have Champions League potentially. So we need, like, like he's sort of saying someone to come in and step up. But I just think the attack was off, the midfield was off, the defence was off. I thought Mary had a good game, but at the end of the day, to see 2 goals, so the whole team was off. And I don't know if it's, like we said, is it, you just beating Everton. Everton are the ones that everyone talks about. And like you said, it's sort of the first half was sort of similar. But, is it that kind of creeping in that we made it kind of thing? I don't know. And I just think, we need to, it's a reality check. That's what it is. It's a reality check. We are not, I thought we were going to go unbeaten. It's a reality check to that. I thought, we're going to push Chelsea all the way. It's a reality check to that. For me, I know Ben says we have to win, but I think a draw is good enough. Because, like you say, we're pushing for that third, really. I don't know about the title anymore. I can still, mathematically. You never say it's over till it's over, but I think, like what she said from the start, we got carried away. Yeah, I saw people saying, oh, United are rubbish. This is why they've been exposed. No, they haven't. They're not rubbish. We are where we are. You don't sit where you are for that long by being rubbish. You know what I'm saying? But like you say, it's a reality check. It's 2 years old. Our range this season was just Champions League. It'll hurt. It hurts that Chelsea lost and that we didn't. It doesn't. It's a bit of happiness that we're still in around, but it just hurts because you think where we could have been. But like you say, if you're not up for this game against City with what's happened today, that's it. If you're not up for it to play against them, then I can't say anything to make them up for it if they're not up for it already, whatever the time. Yeah.
We'll bring Anthony in a second. And just one last thing about them substitutions. Maybe it wasn't tactical. Maybe it was kind of forced upon her. Rumours about Jackie potentially being injured, or maybe Hayley Ladd was just fatigued, or he might not have been tactical at it in that sense. There might have been something else behind it. But even so, that's what happened. Anthony's going to be joining us in a second. It's quiz time, it's competition time, guys. We're sitting on close to 2.2k. Don't forget when the channel gets to 2.5k, we're going to do a prize draw. There's already a few names in the hat already. A few of you guys are in the hat 2 or 3 times, especially John Fry, who's writing the comments there. So for those of you who are new to this channel or new to MU Women's Show, we have a competition. We've teamed up with Football Town. So for the past 3 or 4 weeks, we've been running a competition. We'll ask a question in the comments, and then the first 5 correct answers will get put into a prize draw. And then when we reach 2,500 subscribers, we'll do that prize draw, and someone's going to win some merchandise from the Football Town shop. So over to you, Matt, with today's question.
Yes, I'm going to link it back to last season and talk about a team that we love beating. So, final game that we played before lockdown, we cancelled the season. We played Everton away at Walton Hall Park. Ella Toon scored a goal for us. What I want to know the answer to is who scored the other goal or goals. So, Everton, like I say, we won 3-2 at Walton Hall Park. Tooney got one, and there was another goal scorer. Who was that goal scorer that scored? And like I say, we love mentioning beating Everton. So thought I'd throw that one in there.
Brilliant.
I see the comments going in already.
Yeah, I think yours is a little bit faster than mine. Just put a few correct answers on screen.
Yeah, I'm just going to write these down.
Sam, thank you. You'll be entered into the prize draw. John Neville, nice one, mate. Thank you. Good to see you each week as well, John. Thank you for supporting. Really appreciate it. You got Karen as well. Nice one. We'll keep these comments coming in anyway. I really want to bring Anthony in, who's been sitting patiently behind here. Here he is. Guys, Matt and Ben, I'm just going to say goodbye to you guys for a bit, and then I'll get you guys back for some sort of score prediction at the very end, if that's okay.
Yep, perfect.
Nice one. Thank you. Anthony, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, just getting over the result. Like I said backstage, the Chelsea result made us a bit happier.
Yeah.
But I hope with them performances are few and far apart.
Yeah, it is. It's like Natalie said. I mean, one side of it is we've missed an opportunity to go above Chelsea. Well, at least go equal on points with Chelsea, or close that gap for the title. But on the flip side, we messed up. But thankfully, Chelsea haven't got further ahead from us. As we did mention before, before we came on, at least with Arsenal losing, that kind of helps in regards to our top 3 challenge. But now it's brought Man City closer to us as well. So let's talk about that Man City game that's coming up. First of all, just Anthony, you're new to the channel. Did you come across from the men's game, or have you supported? Have you just joined since with the women's team?
No. I've always followed. I've always been a fan of Man United. I've always followed the men's. Before the first time I went to a women's game was actually before United had a women's game.
Okay.
So obviously, from being near Brighton, I went and saw Brighton a few times. So it was
up the Brighton, up the Seagulls.
You see players like I saw Kirsty Hansen play for Doncaster Belly and Siggy. Little do I know who they were then.
Yeah.
Ebony Salmon played for Aston Villa, and I went to one of their coaches. I think they lost the game, but I was like, she's definitely your best player. And then little did you know, unfortunately, she didn't really get a chance with us, but she signed for United.
You never know. Maybe back one day. Maybe. It's good to see that. Obviously, you'll know the rivalry between Man City and Man United, and obviously coming from the men's game, much like myself. What are you expecting from that? What are you expecting from that game?
Well, I'm expecting a big reaction. I'm expecting them to press. I'm expecting them to hurry City in. Like the first half was very much a bit scrappy. We let silly goals in like we did today. But then the second half performance, we pressed them into making mistakes. And that's where we got our goals from that second half.
How do you see that game going now? Because there's so much riding on it. Man City are at a high. I'm sure by the time we get back to that game, our mood will be completely different to what the girls are feeling right now. But it's just, for me, that's massive because there's so much riding on it now.
Yeah, it's a massive game. And like what Anthony said, like if we start that game the way we did, even the way we have done, someone needs to step up as a leader, 100%. It's time now. I know we talked about Maria. I think she should potentially maybe play centre-back. I don't, let's see what happens in training. Let's see how it goes. Let's see who's fit. But for me, there's been a few defensive errors. I'm not saying, which turn or anything. I'm just saying maybe, she's been brought in. She wants to play centre-back. I think we need someone strong in there. She looked really good at right back, but I think we need attacking on the wings, like both full-backs going forward in a way, and then solid it all up in the middle. I know City have a few players back, and they scored a goal from the wing. I think both goals from the wing today. But I think, we know how to beat them. We've done it enough times. We did it last year, even before we had all these superstars. So we know how to beat them, and we know what we need to do. They're going to be up for it. They're going to be up for it at total. They can go above us, I think. I don't know. But, they're going to be up for it. So, like I said, if you're not up for this game, then I don't know. I don't know what I can do for you because, like what Anthony says, we all come from the men's team. City started investing a bit of money even in their women's team, and they're up there as top team now. So if you can't be up for a Manchester derby, then you really this isn't the place for you. I think they will be up for it. I am, seeing this game today. I just thought I didn't think it'd be easy, but I thought we'd win. I thought we'd have enough in our tank, But like what Ben says, I think it was Ben. They wanted to win it more than us. They came with their plan. They stuck to their plan. If we had passed around them, if we had done our game, we could have beaten them, but we didn't. And that's a disappointment, innit? I think if we had done our things right, but instead we let ourselves get dragged in, and I think that's what will happen if we let City do what they need to do. No, we need to have a game plan and stick to it 100% because it's not going to be an easy game. But I'd take a draw, and Meanwhile, what about you, Anthony? How do you see it going? Because, like you say, we've played them enough times now. We know each other. They're in form, we're not.
I'm definitely with siding with you. Yeah, I'd take a point. A point. It's not away. It's a massive. Every point is vital. And like I said backstage, I'm thinking more of Champions League. So
yeah,
if Chelsea beat Arsenal and we manage to get a point, that's like I think 10 points, even with Arsenal having 2 games in hand. And then obviously we've got Arsenal still. And then we've got teams we should, on our day, we will beat every single team.
Mm.
But as today showed, you can't count your chickens.
Mm.
It's all right. Normally you have 1 or 2 players off, but pretty much they were all off today. There was no player poll that they normally have because we just couldn't decide who 4 names.
Who was worthy of it? Who was worthy of it? No one was worthy of it. And
Maria had
they know that. We know that.
Maria had a good debut, like they mentioned.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it's what it is, isn't it? They'll forget about it now. Casey will have had a word, hopefully had her outburst in that, and they'll know that's not acceptable. And I know they're going to work hard and train to rectify it. And I fully expect it. I fully expect us to come out straight from the start.
Yeah. I think I agree 100% with what you just said there, Anthony. And something that I'm just occurred to me. I'm reading John Fry's comment. That's why I've left it on screen there. We need Jackie and Hayley in the midfield on Friday. I don't think Casey would think this, but with us playing on Friday instead of Sunday with like a shorter gap, the 2 players that we subbed off is Jackie and Hayley. I mean, I wonder if it crossed Casey's mind that let's rest a couple of these players in preparation for City. That would have probably been the wrong decision because let's get the game won first. But it is quite ironic that those 2 players came off, and John's just put that comment on there. We're right. The 2 players that you want to play against Man City are surely those 2 players. So I just thought I'd mention that because it's probably just coincidental, but it could be something a bit more.
Anthony, no, I think it is. I think it is, John. I think that's what it is. I think she wanted to rest Jackie, whether there's talk of a knock or what, but I think she just wanted to rest Jackie. I think Jackie came on probably and she didn't want her to come on. I thought if you just played the same team that you played against Everton, get the points, then rest everyone, you know? And I think that's what she thought. First half, we should have been ahead. You know, you get 1-2 goals, then it's not done, but, you know, then you can pretty much see the game out and make your subs and do that and rest your players. You've got to go out there, win it, and then do all the resting after, I think. But we're unfortunate with our injuries as well, I think.
Yeah, that is true as well. Yeah, absolutely. Anthony, what formation and what players would you start against Man City if you're happy with, like, say for example, a draw? Would that kind of affect anything? How you would approach it?
She likes the 3, don't she? Zelly, Jackie, and Hayley. Which, if you play that, yeah, you're probably looking for a draw with that sort of style. I know you can't use one player, like you can't rely on one player or 2 players, but every time, I said this the other day in the Barmy Army podcast, every time Hayley Ladd's not on the field, we seem to concede more. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but against Birmingham earlier in the season, she didn't start and we had let 2 goals in that first half. Come off today, we conceded 2 goals. I know you can't blame. I'm sure there's other things to it. Obviously, you have to defend your set pieces. We might have still, if Hayley Ladd was on the field, we might have still conceded them. But we seem to have a better shape, and she seems to break it up a bit more when she's on the field.
That's what me and Matt were saying at half time. I just think Hayley's great at just breaking up the play. Would she stop those crosses? No, that wouldn't be her job at that time. But if she was still on the pitch, then it's easy to say that now. But of course, maybe Reading wouldn't have dominated the game as much as they did in the second half. Maybe that free kick wouldn't have even happened. Easy to say that in hindsight. I completely get that. But just because Hayley isn't one of these glamour signings in an attacking role, we can't underestimate how much of a massive player that she is for us. And maybe, like we mentioned, maybe that she's going to be fully fresh now for that Man City game. I agree with some of the comments that I'm reading. I do think Jackie should be playing with Hayley Ladd. The front three will be interesting. Depends who's fit. I think if Russo was fit by that time, I'd love to see her back. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. If not, I'm happy to go with Hudson, Galton and Press again, because I still think that they looked dangerous today. They just didn't get as many chances as maybe they should have done. So many options there. Great to see Press get in some regular game time as well. So with Press, we all know what we can get with Press. So I would love to see her against Man City. There are players there that we know that can perform. They just need to get in that right mentality. I think that's the thing. If they go into that game now with their heads held high, really going for it, then I don't really think if it matters. I think we can change 2 or 3 players. I think we can. But for me, it's all about the mentality now. And Casey needs to get into their heads to either forget what happened today or the opposite, learn from today, whatever you need to do. But they need to go into that Friday's game full of beans, so to speak, and really just go for it. But Natalie, I still think City's there for the taking. I really do, because I know, well, we all know how good we've been this season. That to me was just an off day. We just need to completely put that to bed, don't we, Nat?
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen the game today, but I think it was phases. I don't know if Anthony's seen the City game, and I'll watch it back on the match of the day, women's match of the day kind of thing. But it sounds like it was City dominated, but then Arsenal came in and had their chances and scored their goals, and it's an even game from the sounds of it. Yes, City won in the end, and Arsenal got their own problems against the big teams. But it sounds like you say, they're there for the taking. There's they've dropped a lot of points. They've dropped points against Reading, Brighton. So they've dropped points against the teams that have beaten us and Chelsea today. I think we've been on more consistent form. Yes, they've come into form now, but I think West Ham scored against them. So it's like you say, it's there to be won if you want to win it. If you want to go out and that pressing game that we did in that second half, that was on it. That was all over them. Even when we played them in the Conti Cup, it was 0-0. But we could have won that. There was 2 or 3 chances where I thought we should have been killing them off. Didn't happen. It is what it is. But and I think yes, we played them at the start of the season. They're in a better form now, but there's still chances and areas that we can exploit for them. I don't think their defence is that great. Emma conceded Lucy Bronze, so that's where we got joy from last time. So I think, let's go at it. Leah at Lucy Bronze, that's what you want to see, and I want to see them attacking down the wing the way that I know that they can. Press. I think she had a really good first half. I think there was movement from her. It was beautiful. She was calling for the ball a lot, but then, like you say, the second half we just didn't look like anything, and it wasn't that same swag. And I think, I don't know what it is, and I don't know what she needs to change. I think we can essentially, like you say, we'll see a change of personnel. I won't mind it, but we haven't got that many players to change up. And that's the painful thing about it. We're losing players more than we're gaining them. And, if any team didn't have Russo, Tobin, LJ, they would struggle. We've seen City didn't have Lauren Hemp, and they struggled. And that's just one player, yeah? So we're missing 3 key attacking players. And then, like, Lucy's standing in the middle. That's someone else. That's someone who can come on and potentially shore it up, It's something when you do want to rest Jackie, you got Lucy in there, and she might bring a bit more. I don't know, but it's not what we expect from them, and I think that's why we're all like this. We're all in this mellow mood kind of thing. We expect a lot more, and they probably expect to give a lot more, and it's just one of them things, isn't it?
Yeah, Anthony, I'll bring you in a second. I just want to read a few comments, but for me as well. For me, it's not a quality issue today. I think it was a lack of concentration, I think there was a lot of hunger, a lack of hunger at times where Reading just seemed more. I mean, we've gone back onto that Reading game, but obviously I've been thinking there, do we need to make changes for City? We've got David in the comments who's a Chelsea fan asking about the Turner and Turner combination. I mean, for me, I wouldn't get too reactionary because this is just one game. For me, it's been fantastic for us all season. Amy has been probably one of the standout centre backs in the whole of the WSL. You know, the numbers don't lie at the end of the day. We was in a title race, we still are in a title race with Chelsea, you know, so there might be a couple of 3 points ahead or whatever, but generally I wouldn't get too carried away because you have to look at the bigger picture sometimes. You can't just make judgments just on one game. So for me, I'm very happy with our starting 11 today. And of course, when people come back from injuries, it just makes us even stronger. Jockey 551 was disappointed in the performance today. He says nobody turned up. Casey looked annoyed when and shouldn't blame her. I don't think we do blame Casey apart from maybe the substitutions. That's my opinion. I think the players that she put out should have won that game. Maybe the tactics halfway through, she may have made that mistake, but that's just what happens when you lose a game until you start thinking, okay, so who's to blame? Jockey also goes on to say that we need a big-time striker or Russo back. I agree. I'd love to see Russo. I think it's time. Obviously, even if she does come back, though, would she be match fit? Would she be ready? Obviously, she would say that she is. She'll hit the ground running. But just because she was fantastic at the start of the season, it doesn't necessarily mean she's going to be great on her first game back. Anthony, let's bring you back in regarding this game. Obviously, we played them twice this season already. Do you think the game will be quite similar? Do you think it'll be cagey? Do you think there'll be goals, or do you think it will be a bit different?
I reckon there'll definitely be goals, but as we discussed earlier, it all depends on how United start, and if United start sloppy and they don't force them into mistakes, we could be looking at 3-4-0 if we're as bad as we were with the ball today. But I don't think that'll happen. I feel we'll push them into mistakes, and I reckon we could see another 2-2 draw.
Well, we said that we'd take a draw. 2-2 will be entertaining for us. Obviously, we've got no Tobin Heath in this game. Do you think we'll be missing Tobin's leadership in such a big game? Not necessarily her quality as a footballer, but more of as a leader, I guess, on the pitch in this game.
Yeah, we definitely missed that. But where we miss her leadership, you got Press. Press is another American international. Maybe they got different quality. Tobin's obviously seems to be a bit more like, come on, guys, girls, let's get stuck in. We like turning it around, whereas Press is a bit more quiet. But yeah, she's got the international experience, but there's other players in the team with the experience and that, and they should be there doing what Tobin's doing, trying to get them to perform.
It was nice to see Tobin on the touchline as well. Well, was that touchline? She was in the stands. She was still there. Nowadays, she was maybe having words of wisdom in the dressing room or in the pre-game. I was just asking Anthony about the previous games. Can you see there being a difference in this game, or this? I can see it being a bit more fiery, if I'm honest. I mean, I think the last games was like more to do with like good intricate play and, you know, more of a good football game, a nice silky football game with 2-2. I consider there being a little bit of argy-bargy, as my dad used to say, a bit of needle.
Yeah, aggravation. Yeah, because that's what I want to see, though. I want to see you going in with fire. I mean, that's what we deserve. It's a derby. I want to see big crunching tackles. I want to see you slamming into them. You know, I think that's what we saw when we beat them the very, very first time in last season in the Conti Cup. We beat them 2-0 because we just went out there and stuck it on them from the off. And, you know, if you look at it on paper, probably you'd look and say, bang, their team's better, especially if we're missing people like Russo, Tobin. and LJ and others players, and a big problem are injuries. We need to definitely be looking into that, I think. But for me, I want to see you go out there because, for example, this game, Reading on paper, you wouldn't look at their team and our team. Our team should be good enough to go out and win, but they went out there strong, physical, stuck it on us, and then just bang, went and took the chances, and that's what it's going to be. We talk about these fine margins and stuff, but I think, if we have these chances against City, you can't not take them. You will get chances again, probably from Reading. And, by the time that they went 2-0 up, there wasn't that many chances. But in that first half, we had about 3, 4, 5 chances and we should have taken them. But I think if we have a first half like that again, City will come out and basically not distract, but, they'll come out with a new wind. And I think when we're on top, when we have our periods of dominance, we need to just take advantage and score the goals. And, we all, fine margins. We said how many times do we say it? But we need to be clinical now. This is not the game for fine margins. This is the game for putting the ball in the net. But I can see like what Anthony's saying, 2-2, 3-3, 3-2. It's going to be an exciting end to end. It's going to be good for the neutral, probably not for us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Ben in the comments, 24 people in the chat, so please hit the thumbs up. So thank you. Yeah, please do keep on hitting the thumbs up. Nice to see a few rival supporters in the chat as well. So please feel free to get your friends on board as well and get in the comments. No problem there. Let's move on to some score predictions then before I bring Ben and Matt back. Myself, I kind of agree with yourself. I always kind of say I'll take a draw in these kind of games. I definitely would this time because obviously Man City are on the way up, whereas we've obviously hit a brick wall today. But you guys have said 2-2. I'm going to go for a 1-1 then. But I really do want to see a bit of fire. I do want to see them really go for it. We haven't got bad reputations of getting red cards or anything like that. And I wouldn't want to change that, but I do want to see us put the marker down. And I think somebody said it in the comments. It might have been Ben actually, who said, just wants to get it. The moment that the game kicks off, they need to know that we are up for this because we kind of didn't really see that today. So I'm going to say 1-1. Anthony, your thoughts?
Yeah. Like I said, I'll go 2-2. Although I'm still praying we can do a classic Man United. I'm waiting for that 93rd minute winner from one of the girls. I know it wouldn't be the same being there, but even watching it and that, you don't get any better if that was to happen. But like you said, I'll take a draw. I think it's important to get at least a point, and I think we will. I think, after back to Reading, I think we will. I think they'll have a point to prove. They'll be up for it.
Yeah.
And 2-2 I'll go for.
Natalie, yourself on this one?
I know I've said all the time we need a draw, but I'm going to go for it. 3-2, Man United. If the rivals want to come back. But I think we, like what Anthony says, that Man United DNA, that never say die attitude, needs to come back. And why can't we beat them? We've shown in the games that we've played against them that we can do it. We've shown in the games that we played against all top teams that we can do it. And it's just about us. People are writing us off out of everything now. It's about staying in the chat. We want to be in that Champions League. Let's go out there and show it.
Yeah, I agree. And I just got to reiterate what I said earlier. I just think it's all about mentality now. We just need to go into that game with the right frame of mind, put today behind us. And last time we went into the 2 City games, it was us that was going in on the upper hand. So we know that we can do it. We just need to actually do it. Let's bring the lads back in, get some predictions from themselves. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Thank you very much. Got a couple of minutes just to get some thoughts and predictions from yourselves. Matt, how can you see this game going? Do you agree with Anthony? Maybe a draw would be good enough. Do you agree with myself, thinking it's going to be fiery? Can you see goals like Nat? What are your thoughts?
Do you know what? I'm gonna be a pain, and I'm gonna say all three. I think bits of all three. I think it needs to be fiery. We need a reaction, like Nat said. We need to see some, decent. Well, I say decent tackles. Some physicality. I think season one, a few of us said it. We needed a bit more bite, and we're maybe too nicey. We got Haley. We've now added Maria, and listen, there's a couple of other players that can kind of chuck themselves about, so to speak. But I do think we've been a little bit wobbly at the back. City are just as wobbly at the back today. I know their centre halves had a little bit of a mare in that game today when they conceded against Arsenal. So it will be interesting. We need a reaction. Now I'm half wondering. I'm thinking we're either going to go in it cautiously, and it's going to be like a sort of cagey. We don't want to lose, neither do we, and a 1-1, or due to sort of like I said, the shaky defence, 2-2. So I don't know. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go cautious. I think we can't afford to lose it. We really don't want to, and I think they'll be the same, knowing that Arsenal have got games in hand on both of us, City and obviously United. I think they'll be saying, listen, if we do sort of want to end this season strongly after they've had a bad start, they'll be wanting top 3 just as much as us, and probably look to chuck Arsenal out the picture. And I think, yeah, that's a draw. I'd take a draw. Listen, I'd absolutely but I think a win is going to be important. We do really need to be looking towards, pushing now and sort of learning from that first game for me. I think seeing what we've learned and reacting from this week for me is just as important as picking up points. But I do think, like I said, a couple of shaky defences. I think we'll go for the cautious approach maybe. And yeah, I'm going to go with 1-1, I think.
1-1. That's what I said. Can I just say it's great as well that Chelsea fans are getting rattled over the team in the Championship 18 months ago, playing part-timers. But yeah, keep on coming, David. It's all good fun. Thank you. Go on, Ben. Your thoughts on this one?
Oh, it's going to be a good game, innit? That mob from Stockport coming in. I reckon we're going to do it, mate. I've got PMA, positive mental attitude today, so I reckon we're going to beat them 1-0. I reckon it's going to be a tight game. I think we need to definitely start off with the front foot, though, get in their faces straight away. We cannot start off slow, though. The one thing, we cannot let them monopolise the ball. We cannot let them have all the possession. We need to get in their faces. We need to start off brightly. But I think we can nip this 1-0, mate. And I've got a feeling Golden might tear them apart, mate. Do you know what? If Greenwood actually plays, I'd love to see Golden go up against Greenwood. I reckon you should have Greenwood's number. I really do. But we should wait and see who's going to start on the day. But honestly, mate, I'm really positive for this one. I'm going for a 1-0. But so long as we get in their faces and we can, drive it at them. I don't want to see them have monopolise the ball. I do not want to see them control possession. I want us to get in their faces and let's play the football that we know we can play.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a lot of confidence in the comments. So I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but DJO is really thinking that we can go for a win here, and it's good to see that confidence. We're going to come to the end of the show, guys. It is 8 o'clock. Anthony, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you can come back on again and we'll discuss one of the other matches, whatever's about near the time. If people want to find you and talk to you about Man United, men's team and women's team, how can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter. I'm trying to think what my Twitter name is.
Anthony Wilson. It is.
But it is.
It's
something like that. Anthony Wilson, 98.
Always top professional job there, Anthony.
Yeah.
It's ATC Wilson.
That's it.
Hey!
89.
There we go. For anybody,
haven't you, Craney?
I miss your humour, Anthony. You kill me most times.
We have done something different a little bit today on our Twitter page, so on the All for United WFC Twitter page, just to add a little bit extra. Obviously, we've got 2 shows a week on YouTube, but me and Matt just done a live show at halftime and pre-game as well, just for a bit of fun. Instead of typing messages to each other, we just thought we'd go live and just talk about what we thought about the starting lineup and our thoughts on halftime, and that's something that we may do going forward as well. So if you're not part of our All for United WFC Twitter page, and you want to see a bit more talk and a few videos from Amber as well, please just follow us on Twitter as well. We've got some good videos and some good thoughts on there as well. Natalie, if people want to find you, how could they go about doing that, mate?
Yeah, Natalie _17. Just follow, like the All for United Women page. Follow Barmy Army. Just get involved, guys. More people talking about it, the better. This game is growing. Man United women are not here just to, make up the numbers. They're here to really take over and to be the force in women's football. So the more of you that are watching this, even if it's a few seconds that you watch it, just give us a follow. Retweet the videos. We want to see men and women at the top. And it might not be this year that we win it, but eventually we will. And it'll be a great time.
Matt, yourself?
Yeah, Twitter name on screen at MattCrane15. One thing we didn't mention as well that's important is Player of the Month, Manager of the Month as well. Get voting. Don't care if you've done it once, keep going. I've just blagged some random names and random emails. Casey's in there, Tooney's in there. Get on it, do it as many times as you can. And then, we don't get people piping up about, touch your body and this and that. And David, you play Arsenal on Wednesday, mate, as well. So when you drop points for that, we'll look forward to the chat. Being blue,
Speaking about news accounts, I'm sure that David Aki has got about 5 or 6 different accounts anyway. He needs to start changing his lingo and his pictures. Maybe Chelsea haven't got a fan channel. Anyway. Ben, if people want to find you, Ben, how can they go about doing it?
On Twitter, usually Benny MUFC or Benjamin Brazil on Instagram. Also, there's 24 people in that live chat, and I haven't seen 24 likes yet. Smash the like button, please, people. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. You can find me on Twitter, John Foster MUFC. Hopefully, our next show will be slightly more positive. Our next Sunday show, because we would have hopefully won City by then. Next Thursday, we've got Richard Laverty on, so really looking forward to that one. I'm going to sit back and watch the fireworks. I think I'm really looking forward to it now. I'm looking forward to it. Really appreciate Richard taking his time out to come on to the show again. So please watch that one. And I think that is everything. So I will catch you all Thursday. Thank you to everybody for joining in the comments and on screen. And we'll catch you again soon.